Hello, I'm your host, the Unlucky Moviegoer, and our story today is about a family, some aliens, and well, we'll leave it at that so you can enjoy the mystery for yourself. We open to Marti driving around the country with her family because her dad's job requires them to travel often. The fam then stops for some gas. Our girl goes to the restroom and gets attacked by this guy, but it seems he's just trying to warn her about something. Don't judge a situation by its cover. He says they'll get you while you're asleep, and to go back home. She tells her parents about the bathroom man, but when they check said bathroom, there doesn't seem to be anyone there. They arrive at their new spot, which is an army-based town. Marti gets annoyed with her family, so she takes a walk. The military tells her she's in a restricted area and surround her, but she gets saved by this rebellious chick. This is Jean. Her and Marti chop it up about life. Jean is a rebel. You can tell by her leather jacket. Oh, and her dad seems to be the general of the army base. The girls go to Jean's mansion and meet Jean's mom, who doesn't seem to wake up for anything. Mom and dad seem to be wrestling when Andy comes over and says he has a nightmare. The family here struggle outside, and it seems a military guy is getting dragged away. Dad, by the way his name is Steve, is chopping it up with the general. The general doesn't seem to be very welcoming. Steve is getting samples while being watched very closely. The head medical corps captain Collins approaches Steve and questions him about the chemicals. He asks if the chemicals in the water can induce psychosis in people and make them delusional to the point of being afraid to sleep. Steve says no. The military brings equipment in for Steve. They're in Steve's office acting sus, and Marti asks them to leave. Marti's little brother Andy is in class and his classmates are drawing things while the teacher applauds, but it seems our boy Andy didn't get the memo. Safe to say Andy's a little confused. He's running away when military guys catch up to him and bring him home. This guy brings him in. Marti spits some game at the soldier. Turns out his name is Tim, and he's a chopper pilot. He tells her he'll be at a club later. Marti gets a visit from Jean. Jean meets the fam but isn't very polite and wants to leave ASAP. They bounce. They head to a pool hall and meet some sketch guys. They meet up with Tim and this other guy, who in my opinion are also sketch. Jean and the other guy play pool. Tim and Marti chop it up. Some soldiers come in and grab another soldier who's sleeping and, hey, I remember you. Marti apparently does as well because she tells Tim about his earlier bathroom antics. But bathroom man doesn't seem to recognize her. Marti says she must have made a mistake. Tim and Marti walk home. They play a rousing game of Never Have I Ever. If you don't know the rules, pause the video and look them up real quick. I'll be here when you get back. Marti asks if Tim ever hit somebody with the glizzy. He says he has. She asks if he hides his feelings, and in true stigma fashion, he says he does. That's all any young girl needs to hear as they immediately make out. Now, while this is going on, we get a shot of soldiers in a lake relocating creatures of some kind. Andy starts calling his mother, but she's tweaking. She disintegrates and a new her comes out of the closet, undressed. But you guys don't want to see that, so I'll skip it. Andy tells Steve what went down as he runs outside. Marti and her new friends pull up at the same time. Pops tells Marti to bring her brother inside while he tells Tim not to come around anymore, as his daughter is underage. Fair enough. Andy tries to warn Marti about their mom.
My mommy died.
Attaboy, rip off the band-aid. She doesn't seem to believe him, then gets into a scuffle with her pops. Breakfast is a little awkward. Steve tells Marti if she wants to leave so bad, then to leave. Steve then tells Andy if he would like to go to daycare or stay at home with his mom. And Andy says,
My mommy's dead.
Steve is testing chemicals and a vat falls on this guy. The crew he's working with seems to be abnormally calm. Marti goes to Jean's spot and her mom is acting super sus. Jean tells Marti her mom is tweaking. The captain gives the general a report about what happened earlier and it seems the general is acting strange as well. Mom and this other mom have a moment. Mom tells Marti the tub is full, then tells Andy to get into bed in a very demanding tone. Seems like she's not with his recent shenanigans. Marti gets into a bath and an alien creature decides to show her its tentacles. Mom gives Steve a back rub, seemingly try to put him to sleep. The alien tentacles start to really get in there and it seems to be making a copy of both Marti and her pops. Marti's clone falls to the ceiling, not fully developed. Marti runs to her parents' room and interrupts her dad's cloning process as well. Mom calls to snitch. Steve and Mom have a conversation and she tells him he has nowhere to run or to hide, to just accept the cloning process and be part of their ranks. Steve is about to fold when Marti snaps him back to reality and they dip. Mom screams an otherworldly, deafening scream, alerting everyone in the area, who begin ferociously chasing the family. Everyone except this person, who's kind of half-assing it. Backup arrives and they begin shooting alien people. Tim is alerted to the commotion. His boys are acting sus as well. One of them tells Tim to go to sleep. Tim fends off his attackers and does the race. The family finds a hiding spot and Dad tells them he's going to try to find a way out. Steve runs into the medical captain Collins from earlier, who's popping pills like candy. Steve is asking Collins for a car when it seems the beam kicked in. Collins seems very unstable, stating they'll never get away. Collins eventually throws Steve his keys when the general and his goons walk in. The general tells Collins they're an alien hive mind race and that humans left to their own devices will just destroy themselves, which, well, I guess is kind of true. Collins kills himself. The kids are vibing when Steve comes back. The fam is driving away when Steve starts acting real sus. Marty pulls the handbrake and Tim comes in to save the day. Marty hits Steve with a stick and the rest of the aliens are alerted. Tim goes into his helicopter and Andy speaks nothing but facts.
Nobody believed me.
But Marty ain't trying to hear it. Some soldiers find Tim and he gets surrounded. He's able to fool them by acting emotionless and gets in the chopper. Marty and Andy get caught. Tim follows them to a facility and sees the transfer process going down all around him. Marty's about to get body snatched again when Tim saves her. We get a shot of the general sending alien creatures all around the country. Marty and Tim walk out and Marty says she's not leaving without her brother. They run into Jean, who outplays Marty into revealing her emotions like a scrub. Andy comes in out of nowhere and hops into the chopper. Sure. Lil Man starts to attack Tim. It seems he's been body snatched. Marty is hesitant to fight Andy, but eventually yeets him out of the helicopter, which is probably going to manifest into some trauma later. Tim and Marty blow up both the cars being sent around the country and the town. They fly off to another base. Wow, this chopper must carry a lot of fuel. This air traffic controller guy is helping them land with little emotion and ominous music playing in the background. Then you hear the mom's voice from earlier narrate, "There's no one left like you." The end. If you play video games, don't be toxic.